after a month or so of tank nutrients and major system requirements fluctuating wildly, green hair algae started to show strength and populate the entire bottom of the tank. Even after scraping all of the glass surfaces, it showed its ugly face again within a few days. So it's time to take drastic measures and introduce something that loves to feast on it.
So I made a little pit stop today. Look at this little fella. Come on, little fella. It really doesn't want to come out. Come on. There he goes.
Stars shining bright above you. Night breezes seem to whisper I love you. Birds singing in the sycamore tree. Dream a little dream of me. Sweet dreams in sunbeams find you. Sweet dreams you leave the worries behind you. But in your dreams, whatever they be, dream a little dream of me. Da-dum, 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 da-dum. Da-dum, 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 da-dum.
So now it is time to scrape out some of the algae in the tank. And the first thing I always do is grab a fresh filter sock, make sure it's clean, put that in the return line. And also sometimes I turn the skimmer on, but this time I want to leave it off. So now it's just time to scrape all this algae out. And this is inside of the filter sock. About 15 to 20 minutes later, you can just see the buildup of algae and sludge. So I'm going to have to change this filter sock out in the next 5 minutes before it overflows. One filter sock swapped out, and that's the old one. And that's the one that just came out. As you can see, it is really filthy. And a new one just went in. So I'll give this another 20 minutes to a half an hour, and then keep on cleaning the tank. And then when the water change is done, I just come back over to the aquarium with my little test vial and just get a little bit, about that much, of salt water, and check salinity. And I just grab my refractometer and make sure the lens is clean. Take the water from the tube, put it on, and then what I do is I just push down really hard and then check that in the light.
And just when I think my day of cleaning is behind me, this one decides to keep me out all day to practice her catches, and in the process gets filthy. As much as she doesn't want it, this one needs a bath. Bad.
So, what are the major changes the tank has gone through this week? Well, to start off, so here's just a little tank update. I got an XR15 and I installed that. As you can see, I ran the line through the pipe so it gives it that really clean installation look. Still have this LED here. I'm waiting on 2 more XR15s. One is going to go in the middle, and this is going to be replaced by an XR15. The MP40 used to be here, and the MP10 used to be here, and I just swapped those two around because with the MP40 here, I noticed that my sump water line was raising up and down pretty frequently, and what was going on is the MP40 was pumping way too much water through the overflow down into the sump, and it was causing this line to go up and down. And what that does is my automatic top off was not emptying enough water into the tank, so my calcium, alkalinity, and magnesium actually sank really low. And that's why when I was doing my testing, I couldn't figure out why my calcium, alkalinity, and magnesium were really low. So by switching the MP40 on this side, it's not just blasting water into the overflow. Now it's pretty calm and it's working out beautifully. All of the Apex gear is now finally installed where it needs to be. All of the Ecotech drivers are now finally installed. I used Velcro instead of double-sided sticky tape, so I can remove them and change those around if need be. I have a temporary 3-gallon jug that holds my calc solution. Right now I'm using 4 tablespoons per 3 gallons. And that usually lasts me about a week.
Look at this good girl. You being such a good girl.
So I should be getting another XR15 Pro here pretty soon, and I think the plan is to get 2 more of them. I really want a couple of XR30s, but I think I'd probably have to get 3, and I think 3 is an overkill for this size tank. So my idea is to get 3 XR15 Pros for lighting, and then call it a day. And the next thing I made was an ATO water exit. As I mentioned before in the last video, the one I made was just temporary and I made a new one. And here's how I made it.
To begin this project, I have these 1/4-inch 90-degree elbows I picked up a while ago for a previous project. Not sure where I got them from, but they are quite durable and lasted for around 5 years on my old tank. I measured the distance from the ATO pump to the top of the tank and started cutting the 1/4-inch hardline to fit. Once I was satisfied with all the measurements, I superglued every connection just as I did with the hardline PVC connections on the return and exit feeds, but using superglue instead of PVC cement. The top of my tank is all black, and to make sure this thing doesn't stick out like a sore thumb, I spray painted it a textured black. I think it turned out well, and it's exactly what I needed.
So that pretty much wraps up this week, and I will see everyone next week. Hope you enjoyed the video, and if you haven't already, please like, subscribe, and ring that bell to receive notifications on future videos. And that's a wrap.